We're gonna start off on the Rinse pick, the map called Dam. We saw this map in round 2 before. Now, I can't remember actually how well Rin played on this one, so he will have to perform again. I mean, right now he's pretty much playing just for fun. And if he wins, it's just gonna be a little ego boost. Unfortunately, Rin is not able to play the final. So there are only 3 players here really fighting for it. Tanky is here. Not to worry, he says. So after this warm-up we will be going live straight away, even though it's not 7 o'clock yet. It's gonna be Rin versus Shad versus Elcon versus Tanky. Based on what we've seen so far, I think it's gonna be a pretty even semi-final. I could see any 2 out of these 3 go through. The only 2 players, in my opinion, who have been really outstanding since the beginning of the tournament have been Mika and Rin. But we know Rin won't be able to play the finals, so that really gives a great opportunity to Mika. But anyway, he's playing later, these guys are playing now, and let's see what they can do. Kicking things off with Elcon. All of them no issue in the start. Only Elcon is just a bit behind. Now really important to get this flip properly. Oh, but Elcon flips and he's already dead in the round. Rin is a bit behind, but it's nothing major right now. Tanky leading it with a Shad really close behind, but Rin completely misses the road. And we gotta remember, this is his map pick, so he should be the best on this one, at least in theory. Right now it's only Shad and Tanky who have survived the first part of the map. They're still really close to each other, and Rin has even DNF'd. Tanky collides with the ring CP, giving Shad a pretty decent lead right now. So not the most interesting first round. Players are really far away from each other right now. And it does look like it is Shad's round to lose at this point. Oh, Tanky has to save it there, has to release. Almost crashed, but I think the only place Shad can really lose it right now is the huge jump. If he either overjumps it or just doesn't jump far enough, then Tanky might take profit of it, but he still has a 1.5 seconds of an advantage, and the Elcon is a 32 seconds behind. So I'm pretty sure he's gonna have no issues there. So he just needs to avoid all the palm trees. Should be no problem for a player in the semi-final. Tanky with a nice little neo drift. And the inside line with Elcon finishing in 3rd, and Rin... yeah. As I said, he really shouldn't even be here. Well, because of his performances, but because you can't play the final, then why are you even trying to get into the semi-final? Anyway, let's go with Rin in this round, given that he's last right in the start. Looks like all the players get a proper landing this time. Elcon just mistimes his air brake there, so he will bounce a bit. But so far much better round and much closer round than the previous one. All 4 players are still in the fight for first place. And no problem going through that section, no one crashes into the roof. So now it's the ring CP slalom section. Will anyone make the mistake Tanky made in the previous round? Nope. Everyone survives, very nicely done. Tankram in the lead with a Rin in second, Shad closely following in third. Elcon just completely misses the ring. What is he doing here? Doesn't even respawn straight away. I think he wanted to get a lucky bounce, even though he had no control of the landing whatsoever. And Elcon is just, I don't know what he's doing right now. He's completely lost, like a pack of dolphins at sea. So Shad has made quite a mistake, and that leaves Tanky and Rin fighting for first. Rin is only building up his advantage, with Tankram not even able to make it. Oh, and this is terrible because he now has to drive uphill here. Will allow Shad to pass him. Elcon is still way too far behind. And again, at the end of the round, we see huge gaps between the players. Rin with a really good time. Actually the only player on 152. And Mika is of course the only player with a 151, but as you can see, other players aren't really able to drive that pace. So Shad right now in the lead with 16 points, good start for him. However, Elcon has been playing very poor in these 2 rounds. Let's see if he can bounce back, but once again he is in last after this start. He's just not getting it properly. Maybe he just doesn't know how to do it, I don't know. But every single time in the start he's so far behind. Tankram on the other hand is doing an amazing job. He's the player who qualified for the semi-final in 8th place, so he barely made it. But right now he is looking much stronger than in the previous round. Elcon almost a full second behind, and Rin is doing what Rin does. I think he's given up already, as Tankram makes a mistake, and that leaves Shad all alone in first. Shad already has 16 points, and he's only looking to add to that total. Elcon is coming just slightly closer. He will need to attack. He is of course in 4th place. Shad makes a mess of the landing, will allow Elcon to come closer. Elcon has to risk it. This is a great opportunity to get 10 points. Oh, and Shad just collides with a pillar there, giving Elcon pretty much a free 10-pointer. Now the only thing left between him and the 10 points is this big jump here. Can he clear it? Gets a decent amount of speed, doesn't overjump it. He should be fine there. Lands it. Shad with a terrible landing, but Tanky is so far behind. Even allows Rin to pass him. So Rin will get 3rd here. Most likely Elcon with a decent time, but then again not even close to what Rin drove in the previous round. Rin just giving Tanky the point there. So Elcon with his 10-pointer goes up into 2nd place. Of course we know this is only between the top 3 here. Rin is completely irrelevant. It's really close and impossible to call at this point who's gonna take it. We also know that this map is Rin's pick. So all of these players will still have their best maps coming up. Yet again, deja vu. Elcon in last at the start, but he made up so much ground in the previous round, no reason why he can't do it again. He's also only 0.66 behind, which is not that much on maps like this. And no mistakes from the players in front. Elcon is just keeping kind of the same distance. Nicely done there. But Rin is really pushing it. Shad has fallen a bit further behind, and Elcon again jumps to the left. This time doesn't collide with the ring CP. Manages to survive, but is still in last. Tankram exits very wide will allow Alcon and Shad to come closer. Nice landing by Alcon. Overtakes Shad. This is by far the closest round we've seen so far. All four players are still fighting for the first place at this point, even though Rin is kind of ahead, but you never know whether or not he's gonna let the others pass. Right now it's actually Tankram after that wonky pole section. Ends up in last. Will he even have enough speed to jump? Yes. Rin makes a complete mess of the landing. And Elcon, I think, will take huge profit of it. Can he stay in first? He just needs to avoid these palm trees. Will go for the inside line. Nice Neo, and that's another 10 point for Elcon. Same thing that happened in the previous round. He gets a sloppy start, but then makes full profit of others making mistakes. And he finishes in first. Great job by Elcon, and a really nice comeback later on in the map. So we've got Elcon with 27, Shad with 26, and the Tanky with 20 right now. Of course, he started failing as soon as I said that he is stepping up from his round 3 performance. Of course, that's what always happens. Also, thank you for following Taraaf. I appreciate it. So this, I think, is Shad's pick. This is the wildest map, I think, in the whole map pack. And really a map where anything can happen at any point. I'm sure we're gonna see some insane overtakes here, and we're gonna see a lot of mistakes, I think, especially in the later stages of the map, where the new TM3 blocks are, or at least the TM3 blocks replicas are. This section here also really important. You want to get a really low landing, and this is also one of the riskiest sections. As you can see, Tankram just colliding with the platform on the landing. Elcon went much safer, and it worked out nicely for him, but we'll see if he decides to take the same approach in the live round. Because if Tankram survives with that line, that's gonna give him at least half a second. And then Elcon would have to risk it a lot in this section. However, he's done it very nicely. That was very smooth. So no problem for him. I mean, this landing is kind of difficult, so I wouldn't be surprised if he got a slowdown like that every single time. We've seen that happen a lot in the past. So another way of doing this would be to take that last TM3 section in a different way. Jump just once and then take it smooth instead of the double jump. That way you kind of ensure that you have enough speed for the end. So let's see which strat these guys are gonna choose. Kicking things off with Shad here. Oh, but he collides with the wall on the right there. And that's quite a big mistake because it happens right before the little full speed section. So he's already almost a second behind. We'll need to fight an uphill battle here. But we see Rin retiring after a mistake. But we don't care about him. We care about these three guys. So Elcon again with that really weird line. He always ends up on the left there. He was doing that all the time in round 3. And looks like he's really not got a firm grasp on how to do that section. On the other hand, look at him go here. That's what I was talking about. He just goes for the super low landing. And absolutely destroys Shad there. Makes a mistake of his own, however, and that leaves Tanky all alone in the front. Well, that's not a good landing. Not a good landing at all, means he has to go all the way around. But luckily for him, the other two are completely dead. So he can afford to just go super safe. Would have been really close had Shad made it the risky way, but luckily for Tanky, seems like he chose the correct strat. Didn't risk it too much. And then now he can just safely drive into the finish. Pretty decent time. Even though it's 3 seconds slower than the local one, driven by Rin. I think that's as good as it gets when you want to fully save. And look at what it does to the points. 30, 31, 32, this is super close. And we've still got a long way to go till the 100 point mark. Rin again getting the best start. However, no one collides with the wall this time. Everyone survives. And Shad will be looking to get some big points on his map pick. He is in last, but this means nothing at all, because we haven't been into the crucial sections yet. Now let's see what Elcon does. Yeah, he actually does this on purpose, just to get more speed over this whole section. Let's see if it's gonna work out. I mean, if it does, then it's because he jumped really low. But I'm not really sure it's worth it to go so wide. Just look at the difference. He was fighting with Tanky there, and Tanky just destroyed him because of his really wide line. Makes pretty much the same mistake as in the last round, and Tanky this time goes for the jump. Shad can't go for the jump because he lands right in the middle. We'll have to go safe, and again, same story pretty much. Tanky all alone in front, Shad in second, kind of in the middle of nowhere here. And then further 2 seconds behind Elcon. Not really able to do anything, mostly because he always crashes in that transition to the white roof. Which is something, to be fair, we haven't seen a lot of players do. We've seen players crash everywhere on the map, but not there. And wow, they drive the same time in the end because Elcon fully rears the end and he gets the 6-pointer. He gets the gift from the game. That's the eternal debate. How does the game decide who gets second? But now it says Shad got 6. Looks like the game itself isn't really sure what should happen. So in the end, Shad is the one getting the points, and we definitely saw Elcon having more speed going into the finish. So I guess we'll never know. This time it's Tanky getting the worst out of everyone. But still in the fight, of course. Let's see at which point Rin will DNF this time. Survives this. Touches the grass a bit, but he's still first. Now let's watch Elcon here. Goes for the left, goes for the speed, but look at how bad this is actually. He's just giving his opponents free ground there. Interesting that by this time he still hasn't figured it out. Because he's losing so much, but at least he survives that part. Shad is too far behind to be a factor in this round. Rin is first, but he will most likely DNF. So this is between Tanky and Elcon. Elcon gets a terrible landing. Will allow Tanky to once again create a gap. And Tanky has been playing really well on this map. Looking for his 3rd victory in a row. However, we saw Elcon have an insane end in the previous round. See both of them going for the jump, but Elcon crashes. Tanky not getting the best either, but still better than Elcon. Rin, I think DNF. Elcon barely made it. So Rin just denies Shad a point. Okay. And Tanky with another 10-pointer. Shad is really not showing why he picked this map. Right now tied for second with Elcon. And Tanky is creating a very nice gap for himself. Let's see if Shad can fight back. So far the best he's gotten is second place, and again he crashes just like in run 1. That will put him almost a second behind. We know he's gonna get at least third, but he definitely wants first. There are only 3 players competing here, which means first places are even more important, because there are only 2 others who can get them, not 3 as usual. So Elcon loses a lot here yet again. The Rin is in first. Everyone survives the big jump, but Shad is just falling further and further behind. So let's go up to Tanky. Elcon survives the jump to the roof. Good job by him. And now it's usually all about this jump. Tanky aims too much to the left, he would have crashed, but he saw it just in time, decided to save it, and will stay in third. Shad, I think, just tried to risk it. He had nothing to lose, he was in last anyway. So looks like Elcon will take this one, and I think Tanky can be more than happy with his performance on this map. So let's just watch this fight here. Elcon actually gets it even better than Rin. So let's see, will this be a really good time? Yeah, it actually is. 1:45.73. Well done by Elcon. Finally showing us how to do it. And remember, he even goes for the really wide line. Really unnecessary wide line. So Shad goes from first to third on his map pick. Definitely not what he wanted to see. No, I think it was Elcon who picked this one. So he's already really close to Tanky, and if he can show why he picked this map, then he will be in an amazing spot heading into the last map, where he might even potentially close it out. So I think Elcon and Rin will be going left. It's actually even Tanky going left. So we've only got Shad going the right way, and the other 3 going the left way. So I think we'll stick with this group just to see what's happening. Again, it's gonna be really hard to tell where Shad is compared to these guys, because the CPs aren't evenly placed. Some nice stunts by Elcon, playing Kaki as Kaki instead of the Taraaf Cup. So right now Tanky is in first, showing us how to play the map. Goes for the correct ramp according to his speed. He's actually really close to the local one. Let's see what he can do in the second half of the map, because he cleared the first part very nicely. He actually lost a lot there compared to Lasnox, and he completely messes up the landing. Nah, he's dead. Thought he might have been on a good time, but no. Then let's just stick with Tanky for the remainder of the warm-up. Also, we've seen most players go for the jump, and not even try to cut the ramp, because usually those who cut the ramp crash right after. So there is a decision to be made in the end. I think the ramp cut is always gonna be faster, but you definitely gotta survive it, and that's not easy at all. So kicking things off here with Tanky, who we know is in the lead after map 2. Right now he is on 54 points, so more than halfway through. He needs 100 points, and then he needs to win one more round. He wants to book a place in the grand final. Right now he gets a really good start. Shad has already crashed, and Rin and Elcon are going the other way. So looks like Tankrom has actually changed his strategy. We've seen him in the previous round going one way, then the other. So let's actually watch Elcon and let's see what he can do on his own map pick. Doing fine so far. We only know that Shad had made a big mistake, but it's really difficult to tell whether Elcon is in front of Tanky or if it's the other way around. And apparently Lasnox got that local going the other way as well. You can see how the CPs are changing. And going into the finish, it's Rin in the lead, but it will be Elcon. No, Rin actually decides to finish this one. Decides to take the 10-pointer away from Elcon. There might be some shenanigans going on in the background, because he decides to finish this round where he's in front of Elcon and not another guy. But that's not for me to decide whether or not that's fair of him to do or not. So let's go with the other duo this time. Let's go with Shad and Tanky, who are taking the right route in the start. Tanky again getting an early lead. Rin and Elcon as well really close to each other, so I think there isn't a big difference between all the players right now. However, Shad is losing with each corner, and the Tanky is just creating a bigger and bigger gap. Apparently Rin has made a slight mistake, and as I say that Elcon makes one as well, so it might actually be Tanky who is in the lead here. Let's see, can they clear this one? Decent jump by both. Nobody jumps too far. Or oh, but then Shad makes a huge mistake there. That will definitely put him in last. And crashes again. Will be interesting if he is even able to finish. Let's see, Elcon is I think far behind Tanky. And Rin looks like he decides to finish every round on this map. Shad is fully tilted, I would say. He's still well in. And it's actually Rin right now who's helping him out a lot. Because he is getting all the 10 pointers and denying others the big points. So Shad just needs a couple of round wins and he's well in. No need to give up this early. But this time let's go with these two. Let's see what Elcon and Rin are doing. Because they seem to be the faster duo. Both of them cleared the jump. Nobody crashes into the sculpture, but Elcon gets a much better landing. And advances in the lead here over Rin. Let's see if Rin can come back in the second half of the map, just like he did in the previous. Oh, Elcon just gets caught in the gap. And he's fully dead for this one, I believe. Again, we see some huge gaps because Tanky has made a mistake of his own. But this is still a closer fight than Elcon versus Rin. Oh, and Tanky, another mistake. But a nice turtle saves him, and he's able to continue at least. Will not jump far enough here either. So this is pretty much just Shad versus Rin. Shad could definitely use a 10-pointer. This is exactly what we were talking about. I think Rin is still able to pass him. And Rin wins the 3rd round in a row. Maybe he's decided to play the grand final anyway. But that would be ridiculous. After not finishing so many rounds, if he actually makes the comeback and qualifies for the final. So Rinred now tied for 3rd, even though he is not supposed to play the final. And the points are still really close, only 12 points between all 4 of the players. Or 3 plus 1, however you wanna say it. Following Tanky and Shad this time, with Tanky once again taking an early lead, and Shad having to play catch up. Again, Tanky is just too fast for him, and as long as he doesn't make a mistake, I think Shad will have a very difficult time in catching up. Oh, well done. Tanky very early lang, doesn't get a lot of speed, will allow Shad to pass him. Still really close between both of these guys. Now this can be very important. Shad goes for the early landing, will give him a lot of speed just to ensure he makes this jump. No problem, there goes super safe here. You can see just how wide he went, and that actually cost him in the landing. I think he was really scared of crashing in the sculpture again. Wanted to be really safe, but it beat him in the ass big time. So right now Rin has made a mistake. It's pretty much between Elcon and Tanky. Elcon will win it. A great round by Elcon, and the final wins round on his map pick. With Tanky in 2nd, Shad in 3rd, and Rin in last. So this means Elcon and Tanky are tied for 1st, with Shad and Rin 14 and 15 points behind respectively. And lastly, we're going to Tanky's map pick. We've only seen this map in round 1, so it's gonna be interesting to see how the players are gonna perform here. I think this start can be crucial. We're not gonna watch Tanky try it out over and over again, but it looks like everyone is doing it. Looks like the players are mostly concerned about the start. Yeah, look at them go. Nobody wants to play the rest of the map. All of them are just concerned about surviving the start. See, Elcon is a true hero. He is gonna play the rest. What a guy. So looks like Elcon is happy with how he's performing in the start. Decides to give the rest of the map a go. Let's see if he's gonna go for the risky way here. Oh, he clips it at the exit, but it doesn't slow him that much, and you don't even need that much speed after the wall ride magnet thingy, so he doesn't actually lose a lot of time. See, nobody really taking the rest of the warm-up that serious. I think all of them are just concerned about the start. Elcon maybe just trying to calm himself down and make sure he performs to the best of his abilities when the match is on. So yeah, I hope we're gonna see better quality of driving in the live match, because this warm-up has been all over the place, and that is putting it lightly. He's actually gonna land on the free wheel. So end of warm-up, nobody finishes the map. And here we go. Who's gonna get to start the best? Let's go with Tanky. All of them try to go for the early overwall, and Tanky does it by far the best. Looks like all of that start practice really paid off. Shad is far behind already. So let's see what Elcon is doing. Rin, the only one going to the right. Everyone else going to the left. And Rin will overtake the lead. Elcon aims a bit too much to the left and it will cost him. Shad is able to overtake. Will probably go for this safe way. No, he doesn't. Bad decision making there. You can see it from a mile away that he had no speed at all. And this actually gives Tanky a huge lead. So pretty much the last choke point on this map is this really big jump. If he can just clear this one, then he should win the round. He does jump over the wall there. Good job by Tanky. It's definitely his round to lose at this point. I don't really see where he could lose over 2 seconds. Does it nicely, doesn't crash. Will jump over this whole section here. No problem there. Just needs to get a lot of speed for the end. Gets a little airtime, but he's still so far ahead. And he actually makes a mistake. Where's Elcon? He had such a big lead. There was no reason to risk that. And he just gives Elcon the 10-pointer. Unfortunate stuff there for Tanky, but there was really no reason to jump that far to the left. I really could have taken it a lot safer. But what's done is done. Gotta look to the future now, and he needs to refocus and hope that losing those 4 points won't play on his mind anymore. He's still got a decent lead over Shad. And both of these guys should only be concerned about Shad. Let's see, Elcon goes for the early overwall. Works out for him very nicely. I think Rin is actually last here. No, he manages to come back with an amazing turn. It's Shad who's once again quite far behind. And I think he's already kind of given up. Hopefully he can mentally pull it back together and be more of a factor in this match. As we see Elcon with a huge mistake. Shad again goes for the risky way and he doesn't have the speed. Why are you doing that, mate? We see Tanky versus Rin fighting for first. You never know whether Rin is gonna DNF or not, so Tanky has to make sure he wins the round on his own. And this time he has an even bigger lead against his two opponents. But does he need to risk versus Rin? That is the question. Will Rin retire before the end of the round? Some horning, saying hi to each other. This time Tanky does this a bit better, and this is how he should have done it in the previous round. Let's see, will Rin let him pass? Well, looks like Rin is really taking this seriously now. After trolling the first two maps, he's actually putting in an effort now. And Tanky again getting second, but he will be happy about Elcon and Shad getting third and fourth. So again, it's Rin who denies them the big points. And Elcon and Tanky could get finalists on this very map. But let's spec Shad. He is not having a good time in the start. And this time it's only Tanky really surviving it. With the others already almost half a second behind. Shad, however, survives the following corner this time and will come a lot closer to Tanky. Everyone is really close to each other in this round. Rin, of course, the only one going the other way. So Shad, nicely done. Tanky just bounces up like a rocket. Shad again going for the risky way. This time it finally pays off. Third time's the charm, apparently. And Tanky could still come back, I think. But not like this. Definitely not like that. So Rin here jumps to the left. That was actually a really good landing, but the second landing wasn't as good, and will lose a lot of ground on a Shad and Elcon. Now these two guys need the points for different reasons. Elcon needs it because if he wins a 10-pointer here, he just needs to finish the next one in order to get finalist. Shad, however, needs a 10-point in order to get back into the game, because right now he's really far behind the Tanky and Elcon. Once again, another risk. Will he even make it? Allows Rin to get second. Will make this one, and that should be enough speed to make it into the end. Yep, but he only gets third and drops 2 more points. Elcon with a really nice time. 131.38. Only 2 seconds slower than Mikado. So Elcon just needs to finish now. Tanky has the 89. So he cannot get finalist anymore. Rin is on 79, who knows what he wants to do. And Shad just needs to win 4 in a row. So Shad tries to go for the early overrule, works out really nicely. I think, oh, Elcon, huge mistake there. Will even make it? That is really unfortunate. This time he does it a different way. And looks like in this round we have some huge gaps between the players. Rin is in first with over half a second of a lead. Then we've got Tanky far behind, and Elcon, who is fully dead. Shad again dies for the 3rd time in 4 rounds, going for the risky way. And Rin might be going up to 89 points with a Tanky on 95. But actually, I think this is really interesting. I don't think he can make it. 25. No, I haven't been paying attention to the finish timeout. It's been 30 in the past couple of rounds. So if it's the same in the semi-final, he's fine. But I think he might be in trouble there. So nothing really happening in this round. Let's just see if Tanky can clear this gap here. He does, no problem. Rin will win the round. Now let's see, the finish timeout is gonna be... Yeah, it is still 30. Pankram doesn't have enough speed for the end, but he has such a huge gap that it doesn't matter. And Elcon, of course, cannot afford a mistake. Oh, he just has to release there to make it. Will he have enough speed to climb up this wall? He has enough time, and it will be enough. He does get finalist in the end. Who would have thought that he would have struggled so much just to finish the round? Thank you for following Supreme. I appreciate it, man. So we are back. Back again onto map 1. Back onto Rin's pick. And he could definitely still win this if he wants to. He was by far the best here, it's just that he decided to DNF most of the rounds. And we of course remember Elcon having huge issues in the start here. Only 30 seconds of a warm-up now. We won't play a full warm-up. And this is crunch time now. Elcon is finalist. Tanky on 95, Rin on 89, but he doesn't really matter here. And Shad on 74. It's still not over for Shad, of course. He will want Rin to either get the 10 pointers or to fail whenever he's on a 10 pointer. Elcon finally gets a bit of a better start. Not as good as the other three, but It is better than his starts in the first rotation. See, no one jumps too much to the left. Still very close between all the players. And right now it's Shad in the lead. That's exactly what he needs if he wants to come back and get that finalist mode enabled. Elcon is still in last, but this is where he usually starts to come back. Nice little Neo. Passes Shad, who goes from first to last in that section. Right now it's Rin in the lead with Tanky closely behind. Elcon again jumps to the left, but does survive. And it's so close. Shad manages to climb back up to third place, but then gets a terrible landing. Will allow Elcon to retrieve the third place. Rin avoids the mistakes, same as Tanky, who actually comes really close to the first place. Elcon is falling a bit further behind in third. Will anyone crash into the poles? Looks like the answer is no for the top three. Now it's all gonna be in the big jump coming up. Who's gonna get it the best? Very important not to overjump it and not to jump too low. I think Elcon actually does it the best. Gets a really nice landing, passes Tanky there. So Rin might actually get the 10-pointer and deny Elcon. Elcon with the inside line, insane risk, and Elcon does it. What an end by Elcon. Absolute madman. What an overtake in the end by Elcon. He really went for it. Didn't even bother to Neo, he just went balls to the wall there. Amazing job by Elcon, and he books his place into the grand final. Wow. So now we've got Tanky on 99, Rin on 95, Shad on 77. And Tanky of course just needs to finish, so I don't think he's too bothered about being super far behind in the start. However, Shad will want this 10-pointer. As for Rin, it honestly doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he finishes first or second, he will be a finalist. And he can't play in the final anyway. But Shad, however, he will want to take this 10-pointer. Looks like he always loses it in this section. He goes so safe there. Doesn't even try to Neo slide, and that really costs him. So that allows Rin to get a huge gap, and that looked like a TMNF landing bug there to me. So Rin has over a second and a half of a lead. Again, not a very interesting round, with big gaps between all the players. Tanky, I think, is too far behind to deny Shad any further points, even though Shad is making a real mess of the round. And Rin definitely won't get sniped in the end. Nicely done there. No problem in the landing. Tanky has made an additional mistake. So we will have double finalists next round. As long as Tanky doesn't disconnect in the end. And there he goes. So it's double finalist, and Shad needs to win 3 rounds, pretty much. Because even if Rin wins this one, he'll only be on 89 at best. So he'll still need to win 3 rounds. So I think this puts Tanky in an amazing position to progress into the grand final. After barely making it into the semi-final, let's not forget, he was the 8th place person. Right now he's looking in great shape to actually make it into the grand final. Of course, largely thanks to Rin, who isn't able to play in the final. But anyway, he is in 3rd position only. And right now it's looking good for Shad, but we know Shad has huge problems in this section. I think he needs to risk it at this point. No, he's still going in the no-slide way, and yes, that's what happens. That's what happens when you don't Neo there. And he can't even DNF this round. Because after this one, he absolutely has to win every single one, no matter what he does now. So it's actually all about Tanky here and Rin. Will Rin give Shad another chance? Or will Tanky win the round right now? And book himself a place into the grand final? It's looking very likely that Tanky will make another mistake. So it's all about Rin, really. He's actually on local 1. Let's see, can he keep up this pace? Not the greatest landing, but maybe if he gets the same end that Elcon did, I think he could still snipe Mika here. Nah, that was okay, but too slow to beat Mika. So GG for Rin, actually a mad comeback. Given that he DNF'd like 8 runs in a row. But we don't really care about Rin. What we care is these two guys. Tanky needs just a 1 round win. Shad, on the other hand, needs to win 3 in a row. So it's all about this. And we know Shad can't really go through that ring CP section without losing a lot of time. So he will need to step it up everywhere else. Otherwise he's dead. Gets a good start. Tanky is still very close. Jumps so much to the left. Doesn't cost him, however. And Shad is building up a nice lead. He will need it. He will of course need it unless Tanky makes a huge mistake. Here we go. 0.2 of a lead. But Tanky is coming closer. He goes in with the Neo slide. And look at just how much time Shad loses there. He's over half a second behind now after being 0.2 in the lead. And he will need a ridiculous end to the round if he wants to come back. A really unfortunate map rotation for Shad, I think, as well. This is definitely his worst map. Over a second behind. But now it's really all up to Tanky. Doesn't kiss a pole this time. Very nicely done. Even extends his lead. So he just has to clear the big jump and then the palm tree end. Gets a decent amount of speed. That looks very nice. Goes really safe, really wide. He knows he can't afford to fully save it. Nice end. Doesn't even have to go for the inside one. And that is GG. He secures himself at least 5 euros. Nice job there by Tanky. So your first 2 finalists are Elcon and Tanky.